crank that sound, or grab your earbuds. It's time for Artist Direct on FM 100.5, your inside scoop on the music scene. Brought to you by Singing Hammers Construction.
Walls and the floor's concrete. Granddad's home had no central heat. Ironwood stove and an old Trans Am. Worked in the sandpits like his old man. I grew up on the Great Plains. Push us aside, you can't cast away. 'Cause over these fields no man can reign. Go on south of where the big cities are. See the rundown trailers and the burnt out bars. Big oils come, the smokestacks are rising. Makes the winter air taste like poison. I grew up on the Great Plains, in a small town trying to make a name. You can't push us aside, you can't cast away. Some gasoline set the place ablaze. Through the morning light I could see the haze. Dogs are barking across the snowy field. Leaves the charred remains of the old world. Great Plains, in a small town trying to make a name. You can't push us aside, you can't cast away. 'Cause over these fields no man can reign. Over these fields no man can reign. Over these fields no man can reign.
It's Artist Direct here on FM 100.5, brought to you as always by Singing Hammers Construction. And we're thrilled to have in studio today, who's actually going to play live at the end of the show here, Addison Israelson from Rochester, Minnesota. How you doing, Addison?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for having me in the studio today.
Yeah, so glad you're here. So this was kind of funny because I get emails a lot, and don't stop sending them.
She's
I
popular.
want them. I didn't mean to roll my eyes when I said that, just a little. But I get emails a lot from musicians that want to be on the show, and we want to, but we only have 52 shows a year, and so we try to figure out what's the best fit. And so a lot of times I've heard about them. I've heard about that person, and that's what makes me open that one email or just something familiar. I didn't know anything about you, and I was actually hiring people at the time, so I thought it was someone looking for a job, which is kind of true. You are a musician, but I was really pleased to have it not be a resume and instead actually someone that was looking to be on the air and someone that I'd never heard of. So this is exciting for me. Tell us a little bit about you. You grew up in Rochester?
Yes, that is correct. Around there, I'm a Minnesota musician. I take my influence from fellow musicians such as Jeremy Messersmith from Minnesota.
Yeah, we've had Jeremy here.
Gary Loris, and obviously Bob Dylan.
Gary.
Gotta have the Bob.
Haven't had Bob on.
It all comes back to Bob.
Bob has not
Nobel
emailed
Peace
me to be
Prize.
on the show yet. I will let you know when he does.
Have you emailed Bob?
No.
Oh, okay.
I have yelled at him from the audience, though. That was fun. So that's actually that's a really good lineup of influences. I always think it's interesting because folks can't see you right now, and I won't be so rude as to ask your age, but you're younger.
Mm-hmm. 19 years old.
There you go. I was gonna say older than 15, younger than 29. So I knew I was in there somewhere.
Ballpark.
You gotta be safe. So you say you're 19 years old, and I think. Who are 19-year-olds listening to? And I think it's a very diverse group of people, obviously. But what drew you to Bob Dylan? Is it a family connection, or why were you there?
I guess ever since I was a little kid, the turntables at my house were, Highway 61 revisited, Bringing It All Back Home, Blood on the Tracks.
Yeah.
And
now you just grabbed Cole because as soon as you said
No,
turntable.
I totally listened to Highway 61 like 2 days ago. So I'm a turntable. So
in my opinion, it's the greatest record of all time. And, growing up, my parents, instead of reading kids' books, it was Bob Dylan lyrics. So I had it was Baby Blue and, all that. And it stuck with me. And I've carried it through. So
Are your folks musicians?
No.
They just had a real passion.
Yeah.
They don't even attempt.
No.
It was such an instant laugh that I thought, what? There's got to be something there. I think because right away when I got the information from you, I went to your Facebook page and I believe I saw a picture. It looked like you had done a show with some other buddies from school, I assume. And they were kind of in black and white, if I recall correctly. And people looked so excited to be there. It was such a mix of ages that it made me think there were a lot of parents in there and there were a lot of young people. How have you found that influences like Bob Dylan have worked to sort of combine an audience that maybe doesn't traditionally sit around listening to the same music?
Well, music, like Bob Dylan, we play a lot of, other stuff like Johnny Cash as well. It transcends generations. You get the grandparents come. Yeah. They bring their friends. And it's nice, too, because the people our age just want to go out and see live music. And we can reach them with music they might not be familiar with, as well as, reaching the older generation that's, they know the stuff what we do, they recognize it, and they appreciate it, I think.
That's cool. We should talk about that new single of yours. What's the name of the single?
Great Plains.
And Great Plains is it the name of your album as well?
I just released Great Plains as a single. I released a studio record on May 10th of 2016 called Northridge.
That's the one I found, yeah, Northridge. So this is new. This really is pretty new.
It is, yeah.
Who played on the recording with you? Because obviously you had a group together.
So I have a close friend I've known for a long time. He goes to the University of Minnesota. His name's Isaac Gullickson, fabulous guitar player.
Cool.
He's well-versed in all styles. And then on drums, Zach Peterson. He goes to the McNally Smith School of Music.
Yeah, nice. It's good school.
He's a fabulous drummer. I've worked with him on many projects. He played on my other record.
I believe Chris Koza went to McNally Smith. There's a poster of him, and he's going to be in town next weekend.
At the gala.
At the gala. So there's all those connections with those great musicians that are around.
Yeah.
And how did you hook up with all of them? How did you meet all these guys?
I knew Isaac from school.
Oh, yeah.
And we were in another band together. And
What was that band called? I love old band names.
The Rares.
The Rares.
The Rares. It was kind of like 60s rock and roll group. But I've worked with them. I've been working solo, and they're always willing and eager to record. So call them up, and we cut Great Plains in a day. So
Wow. So where'd you record it at? Was it at a studio or just?
It was a studio in Rochester. Producer Jim Fricker.
Okay.
He is no longer in Rochester, but right before he left, we just cut that single, and I'm going to release the B-side in probably early June. So.
Nice.
So wait, I'm interested. How old were you when you recorded the first album, the Great Plains? Was it? No, I'm getting them confused again.
Oh, Northridge.
Northridge. Yeah.
Well, I started the recording process when I was 17.
Okay.
And produced it very inexpensively. It was kind of a basement recording deal.
Yeah.
But a close friend of mine, Dave Carr, he's a music technician, and he saw it out to make sure it sounded pretty good. So he worked on it with Pro Tools.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
We scrapped it together, but it's a scrappy album. But it was my first work, and I think the Great Plains came around a lot more professionally, and that's what I was seeking to kind of capture this roots by way of indie sound. So
was there a moment, I'm thinking like from your first recording experience to your second one, where you thought, oh yeah, this is how I'm supposed to do it? Like these are what headphones are like, whatever it is.
It was exactly like that. We all got into the studio and our jaws just kind of dropped. We're like, okay, this is real equipment.
Real people work here.
Yeah.
Like mixing board. This isn't my basement anymore, and an 18-track Tascam.
So let me ask. I recently listened to a couple old. I played trombone at the college here, and I found an old recording of my recital, and I was like, oh, like I was cringing listening to myself. How do you handle that, like as a real musician? Like, do you ever when you were recording and doing all that, you were listening, but like, do you ever pop in your CD in the car, or are you just like, I'll just let the listeners listen and I'll write it and play it?
Well, the first record, it's not on heavy rotation. I tend to just keep moving forward, working on new stuff.
Sure.
I look at it as more of a demo now, and Great Plains is kind of it's the complete work that I want to go more towards. I think I'm going to re-record some of the stuff off that first record, make it more professional. Now that I have better connections, and I'm getting more in touch with the music scene in Minneapolis, St. Paul, in Rochester, in La Crosse now. I think I'll have a better shot of making a more high-quality record.
Sure.
Let's talk about that for a second. By the way, we are speaking with Addison Israelson in studio from Rochester, Minnesota. Connections you've been making, obviously a lot of those come through just the more you play, the more people you meet. Was there a moment where you thought, okay, this was the next thing I needed to do? That was a good step for me.
Well, I think, I guess a very important moment in my music career that kind of propelled me, and it was a connection, was I met the bassist of REM, Mike Mills.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And very nice man. Gave me some key pointers that kind of, he told me about making those connections. He told me, he gave me a few bass tips. And
nice.
But it was more importantly, those connections and just the importance. It's not always what you play or how you play it, but it's who you know.
Right. Does that frustrate you at all? Because I hear musicians talking about that sometimes, especially folks that have really been doing it for years, and they feel like I'm friends with some of them on Facebook, and you can see the frustration that they feel like they have a really great product together, but they don't know the right people, and that frustration comes through in feeling underappreciated. Do you see that?
Well, I guess for me, I'm just going to do whatever it takes to make a name. Like I said in my song, from a small town trying to make a name.
Yep.
And, like I said, that song is loosely based about me, and I took a lot of personal stories from our family to kind of compile that story. But, yeah, I'm just trying to get out there, spread my music around, play as many shows as possible. I think I have 12 shows from now until the end of June, so...
That's cool.
Great.
We're talking to Addison Israelson. I wondered, you said something about you took stories from your family. Does your family get nervous when you write a new song that might be about them? I always wonder, like, oh no, he said my secrets.
Well, particularly Great Plains. I'm kind of paying homage to my grandfather. Everything in there is relatively true, and it's loosely based. It's not about me or about him specifically. It's just about, the culture growing up on the Great Plains, the harsh winters, when you don't have central heat, how cold it is when you wake up in the morning. And just, it's what Bruce Springsteen did about his town in New Jersey. I kind of want to bring that, American folk tradition to Minnesota and, write songs that, are about the region and about growing up and, about my family and that kind of thing. So
I love it. I have to imagine your folks are pretty proud.
They've been
or worried. Sometimes they're both.
Yeah.
No, they've been very supportive of the whole thing. My dad is a Bob Dylan aficionado, so he just thinks it's great when I'm playing protests and rallies and I'm up there singing "Times Are Changing."
Nice.
And when the ships come in and I'm giving historical facts, he's also a historian, so I can kind of.
He really likes that. Then.
Yeah,
there you go.
Well, in 1963, Dylan played the song at the March on Washington, but that kind of thing.
That's kind of cool when parents can get into it like that. I think being able to share music with family and those friends, those that are close to you, is really probably one of the most important things you can do. But it doesn't always go as smoothly as you'd like it to go, especially when you're writing about family stuff. And so it's good to hear that they have a lot of support in you and a lot of excitement for what you're doing.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Are they listening today?
I believe so.
Hey.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's Addison Israelson. We are really excited. I want to make sure people know where they can connect with you, where they can find out information about you, and we also want to hear another song. So let's make sure we tell them where to find you.
Okay. Well, I'm on iTunes and Spotify.
Yep.
You can find my new single. You can find my full record. You can also find my Facebook page, Addison Israelson Music.
Yep.
At Facebook.com.
I think if it's helpful, that's probably not helpful. I think I tagged to your personal page, but we will find the music page and make sure that we give people a link on our website, kdecradio.com. You'll see it on the Facebook feed.
But yeah, it's a great way, to stay in touch with. I'll be gigging around the area, photos, that kind of thing, new releases. I'm releasing a new single, like I said, in early June. It's called Tabla Rasa. So,
Blank Slate. I love Tabla Rasa. My husband used to tell me that he used to call me Tabla Rasa. It's a long story. Good. Now I'm really excited about that one. I love it. All right. So Addison Israelson, we're excited to see where you go, what you're doing, and really appreciate you driving over this morning to join us in Iowa.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a real pleasure coming down here.
Yeah. Well, we'll have you back again.
Yeah.
We'll do more. So what's the song we're going to hear as we go out?
This one's called Arbalace.
And what do we need to know about it? Where'd it come from?
Well, it's a bit surreal. I was listening to a lot of Lou Reed and reading the poet William Blake.
Yes.
Nice.
And
Who looks like my husband? That's a different story.
Lou Reed or William Blake?
Yes. All right.
But so.
This is cool. I'm excited about this. All right. Addison Israelson here on Artist Direct FM 100.5. And I have to say, before I go, I made a mistake. My husband looks like William Morse, not William Blake. So he'll be upset if I said he looked like the wrong one. We have to thank our sponsor, Singing Hammers Construction, who is always just huge supporters of live music. And I know if Matt's out there in his truck working, he's enjoying this conversation very much. Again, the name of the song we're going to hear?
Arbalace.
Arbalace on Artist Direct, FM 100.5.
Streets go narrow, trees up high, up the stairs, my feet did fly, leave hill loose, but strangely alive, I stumbled onto the other side. Light shine through, spied the place, corner of my eye, caught her face, little strung out, but feeling fine, got tight enough to unwind. I'm burning in, I'm fading out, sin on a versus round. Drip by night, tethered by day. Try as I might, I can't get away. I can't get away. No, 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 no. Work's not getting you anywhere. Boss cut your hours, we're not aware. Make a little money on a Friday night. Making it big is looking out of sight. Into the alley, fell on my knees. Head swimming around like a nest of bees. In the city, spread like disease. From the highwaymen down to the police. I'm burning in, I'm fading out. Consumed by sin on a versus round. A drip by night, tethered by day. Try as I might, I can't get away. I can't get away. No, 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 no. Not today, not any day. No, 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 no. Now people might often disagree. The root of all evil, now it's clear to me. I digress, it's hard to explain. So easy to come by, but hard to maintain. Walking right down Marion Road, where dignity, both bought and sold. Felt so high, my skin was cold. The ground beneath began to fold. I'm burning in, I'm fading out. Consumed by sin on a versus round. Drip by night, tip by day. Try as I might, I can't get away. I can't get away. No, 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 no. Not today, not any day. No, 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 no.
Thanks for listening to Artist Direct on FM 100.5, your inside scoop on the music scene. Tune in again next Friday for another Artist Direct, brought to you by Singing Hammers Construction.